email address?
For Dr. Aid or
Yeah.
yeah, I think LinkedIn is probably the best way to reach him now. But he'll be back in a sec. I'm gonna put the Witty YouTube channel in the chat.
Okay. And then
And
is there also a website?
yeah, well, meetyourself.me is the website, which I'll also put in the chat. Dr.
Okay.
Aid, do you want to share your email or LinkedIn, or what's the best way for people to reach you? If some have to leave for meetings now.
Okay, so I've just put in the chat my LinkedIn. Let me do something to make it easier for everyone. I have two QR codes here, if you can see my screen.
Yep.
The one to the left can connect you to all of our channels, including WhatsApp. You can also chat with my AI avatar there, and you can connect to LinkedIn and the other channels. That's all for Meet Yourself. And to the right, there's a video demo of the Meet Yourself assessment tool.
Do you offer sessions for individuals by Zoom?
Yes, I do.
And I can reach you on the website to find out how.
Please, LinkedIn would be the fastest way. So if you can connect to my LinkedIn profile and send me a personal message,
Okay, I will do that.
that's the
Thank you so
fastest.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Thanks
you.
for joining, Carly.
Bye bye.
Shall I leave it on if you want to, if anyone needs to scan?
Yeah, I think yeah, people could scan it or just save the page. We'll put it up later too. But I think we can
All right.
continue, Dr. Aid, if you wanna.
Yes. Uh, so we had an interesting conversation during the our breakout room, and I actually asked a question, and I'm going to ask everyone here. Can you please describe yourself with one word and put it in the chat? If you were to say one thing about your personality, what would it be? Powerful, tenacious, outgoing, a
Can you repeat?
masterpiece. Let me.
So,
What is one word that describes your personality? So we've got resilient, searching, curious, motivator, an encourager, a servant leader, creative, self-motivated, curious, thoughtful, and optimistic. Interesting. Um, how much do you think that one word describes something that you've acquired in life as a reaction to different life experiences and interactions with other people? Do you think if you were in a different environment that you would still be describing yourself with that same word? How much of that is actually who you have become in life as opposed to your real nature? And that's the thing here. I'm asking a question to push some reflection because during those 5 minutes in our breakout rooms, we had three revelations that, yeah, this actually is not really who I am. That's actually what I've developed with life. So are you able to hear me well? It's getting a bit noisy
yes.
next to me.
No,
All
you
right,
sound
perfect.
good. Sound good.
I'll keep the microphone close to me. And this is what life is all about, isn't it? That's what differentiates us from any other species. Lions wake up in the morning and they go do exactly the same thing every single day. Humans don't learn the day and adapt the way to every single interaction. That's what makes us different. It's our amazing ability to adapt our behaviors and learn and grow. Now the question becomes how much of that growing and that developing actually rhymes and matches the things that we enjoy doing in life, the things that make who we really are. Have we become introverted as a result of an experience or experiences? Have we become people loving, outgoing as a result of experiences? That's the question. So let me bring back to meet yourself, which is the topic. Um, I'd like to just before I start ask. I don't know if Catherine Dixon is available to talk, or Jeff Griffin, or Chris Steele, or Jerry Riskin. People who have been the experience, or David Layton, maybe share their experience and what kind of insights about themselves this gave you. Can
I,
anyone volunteer?
I'd be happy to share if I can.
Sure, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. By the way, my name is Jeff Griffin. I'm a powerful, authentic, lovable, and playful man. And I have learned and discovered so many beautiful insights by doing the brain assessment, by doing the DNA, by listening to Dr. Eid and just you know he has this gift of being able to look inside your eyes, inside your soul, and just kind of like touch the thing that lights you up. And so my experience has been wonderful because it's been good to see what I thought I am and what I'm genetically predisposed to, and seeing how they come together and mesh, and so it's been enlightening for me, and I have just loved the journey and loved the discovery.
Okay, and Dr. Aid may have gotten knocked off wireless, but Chris, how about you? Anything to add? Well, I know you had your own experience, so please share.
Yeah. So Jeff, good, ditto, right? When it comes to understanding myself, I met Dr. E, shoot, a couple of years ago, and was one of the early adopters of the program. And I've learned it's really kind of reinforced what I knew about myself, but made me realize what my true motivators and competencies were as a socializer, right? And playing toward those strengths and not trying to be somebody that I'm not, right? And then as I look at that accomplisher dynamic as well, managing that ability to relate to people and communicate and drive, and then letting other people be more reasoning, right? And delegating that not so strong area, I guess, to other people that might be better at it than me. So it's allowed me to really channel my essence and my force as I reflect. And his report is profound when it comes to being able to see myself and allowing me to make the distinctions about myself so I can be the person I want to be. So looks like he's back now. So thanks, everyone. Good stuff.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, I was able to hear your testimonial and Jeff's. Thank you very much. Um, Catherine Dixon, are you available to talk?
Oh, and before we go to Catherine, Dr. Aid, Mandy had a question.
Yes.
Or Mandy, do you want to ask?
Yes, I will address it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm not very familiar with this assessment tool or test, and hearing some of these experiences. How do you know somewhat definitively what actually is genetics versus comes from your experience.
Okay, Dr. Aid has disappeared. We'll be back in a minute. He's traveling in the UK. But Chris, do you have any insights to that?
Oh,
'Cause-
apologies.
Oh, Dr. Aid, you're back. Okay, sorry, please.
So Mandy, let me share my screen and show you. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Oh, now your picture's back. Do you want to try sharing or send it to me?
It, it says loading.
Okay. We're having internet difficulties. I haven't reviewed my test in a while, but I believe it did break down. I don't know if specifically what was, yeah, I guess specifically what was from the DNA and cross-referencing. Oh, but Dr. Aid's back. Dr. Aid, we can see you. You're on mute now.
Actually, I've kind of got a good answer. I
I
mean, if this
do
is too much of a struggle, I mean, Antoine, if I could maybe contribute, I'll actually, if I could just do
Yes,
this,
please. Yes, please.
I'd like to, because there seems to be a struggle here to do this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen um, and show these are my DNA scores, right? So this is my report. You can see it's a forgive me, I'm at an airport, guys. But you guys a 24-page report, and you can see, Mandy, the essence of the DNA scores. And I love that, you can see the graphics and all. And what I love about that is a synthesis between not just DNA, but behavior, which we know about through other profiles as well. But you can see from my perspective, the motivators, the potentials, the talents, which lead to higher performance around spontaneity and things like that. So there's a whole area, Mandy, in the report that you can see on my report that attributes my competencies, in essence, my strengths. Again, you can see based on potentials, imagination, social execution, and rational, based on my DNA connection. So I don't know if that helps, but it goes pretty deep. And my perspective on it was very affirming. And it also helped me realize how I could channel my competencies as well. So anyway, that's my contribution. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Chris, do you mind sharing your report again?
Yeah, I'll just share it again.
So, Mandy, to add to what Chris said, the difference is analyzing motivators and competencies separately. Motivators come from both our genetic motivators and our thinking motivators. So there are two different tests for that. There's the brain print, which if you scroll up, Chris, just one page up, this measures the four thinking attributes and where your motivators are. These remain constant for the rest of our adulthood. So if Chris takes this 5 years later, 10 years later, they remain constant usually. And these say that Chris has a, Chris, do you mind if I share? Okay. So these.
Yeah, I'm wide open. Thank you. Please.
These talk about Chris's inclinations, thinking inclinations towards being pragmatic, thinking practically, being hands-on, people leader, gets done, he's an achiever. And that is where this is where his brain is most weighted. So although he has the ability of enjoying and being part of the vision and the strategy, but he would be more motivated in the execution, being part and bring people together to align with a strategy and execute. So as you can see, these and the genetics do not really talk about how good Chris is at different things. They're talking about where he is most motivated. And that's the important point here. It's totally separating what motivates us from what we are good at.
Okay. So that was a good report. I'm going to stop sharing my screen if that's okay. So I think he said what needed to be said, but he looks like he dropped off again. sorry, sorry,
Yeah.
David. Any
He'll be
questions, Mandy?
back.
I mean, I'm sure that probably raises even more questions, but is that okay? Good enough of an answer for you?
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like there are specific questions targeted on the assessment to kind of tease out what motivates you versus what you're good at or what you know, prefer or like. So it's that kind of teases out what your genetics are, sort of, is what motivates you inherently, is what I'm getting.
Right. And the thing is,
Okay.
I'll just comment. I mean, I
Yes.
do a lot of profiling, whether it be DISC or Myers-Briggs or all the other profiles. What I like about this one is it actually gets into how I'm wired, genetically, and what my tendencies are in that context. So it brings that component in and layers it all together, kind of separates it, but then when it's layered together, it's very validating of my passions, my purpose, my tendencies, my intellect, right? And my motivators and my motivation in life, on an existential level. I don't know how else to say it, but
Well, and I think to focus on your natural flow and the things that come easy rather than focusing maybe, like as we grew up, oh, you're not as good at this. Let's really try to get better at that. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's to identify what you are good at doing and really lean into that. Um, that's one thing I've gotten just working with Dr. Aid and going through my test. And we are, by the way, for everybody, going to have like special witty opportunities, and we have membership bundles. If you're already a member, ways to kind of get the test if you'd like to, and then just we'll have these monthly sessions with Dr. Aid. He will be back. I think he'll be back in
I, I,
next week.
I'm here.
It's all
I,
good. It's all
I'm
good.
here, and
There you are.
I'm here, and I don't know what I really don't know what is happening with technology today. Zoom keeps kicking me out every few minutes.
Yeah.
Um, so Mandy, I hope you were able to get the gist of the approach.
Yes, thank you.
Measuring motivators is equally important to measuring competencies, and this is what we do usually. Notice that when you were asked yourselves, you said something about you that most related to what you've acquired in life, to the trait you've acquired most. Now, if you think more and deeper, what would be the thing that makes you happiest, that makes you most motivated? And this might be a different attribute. And this is what we want to find out in ourselves, in our coachees, in our children, is really what what is the trigger for someone to not only be good at something, but enjoy doing it? And these are the type of people that you want to work with. These are the teams that you want to build. And that's actually the difference between a high performing individual and a high performing team and the lower performing individuals is that motivation. And that is revealed through both the DNA and the brain print. We combine that with, if you go down one page to the behavioral assessment, Chris, please. If we combine that with the acquired competencies, it tells a nice story that explains the dynamics between what you were born with, who you started becoming through your upbringing, all the way to the present day and the acquired traits that you've and skills that you've acquired. And and this is the reveal. This is where the revelation happens. With the discussions I have with people that take the test, it usually brings them back to their childhood and why they became like this over the years. It's usually the influence of a parent. It's usually the relationship with colleagues at work or a boss that is pushing us daily to try to acquire and develop in certain areas. putting them together and seeing the whole picture actually pushes us back, not to make a major change in our lives. I think by this time, at our age and the age of the people we coach, the point is not to rebrand ourselves or change our lives into a totally different direction. Is more to respect and acknowledge the things that are part of us and remember to honor those in our life. Because our purpose always aligns with our nature. It is almost impossible to find that great joy and sense of purpose, things we've only learned and we think we hate every day at work or in life. It's more the things that make us happy that align with our purpose. And as you can see, when I asked you to describe yourself with one thing, most of you said something that is related to really relationship with others. Outgoing is related to
I tell you, technology is great when it works, isn't
Yeah.
it? Right?
Well,
So I'm
look,
just sharing my screen. I hope that's okay. And I think it's probably answering a lot of your questions, everybody, Mandy, specifically because you're kind of seeing the report and he's talking around it. But anyway,
yeah,
hope
and I
it's helping.
think that probably covered most of Roberta's questions, I think. But Tia had a question for you, Chris. As a result of the analysis, what, if any, changes have you made to your social or career perspective? I don't remember exactly when you took the test, but I know you've been going through some transformations in a good way. Anything like you see related to the test and how it opened up for you?
You know, just to, again, I didn't, I'm in an airport here, so I wasn't really prepared for anything, but just from the heart, I took this, like I say, probably about a year ago. And since then, I've become more, in the context of self-actualization and being more self-actualized, I've become more confident in my inherent competencies, and I've been able to play more toward them with that heightened essence of confidence. And I think that's been showing up for me, whether it be vocationally or in relations. And I'm just feeling like more of an alignment happening in my life. And as David alluded to, I've been going through some pretty intense changes. And I think this realization, this revelation of actualization has really helped catalyze that for me. So I feel like I'm kind of living the life I was meant to live, based on the realizations that I gleaned from this analysis. So I hope that helps.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Tia. Jerry, I saw you come off of video earlier. Is there anything you'd like to share?
Am I here?
You're here.
Okay. Well, what I can share, because I have more preparation to do arising from Dr. Ead's work, what I can share is that I am overwhelmed, blown away, etc., in a positive way by that man's expertise. Is he on right now? Can he hear? I hope he can hear this. By his expertise.
I am.
Or you are? Oh,
He's
good. I'll
here.
embarrass
I am
you.
just not letting Zoom know that I'm here. I'm keeping silent.
Okay, well, maybe that's part of your DNA. So anyway, what impressed me so much was the depth and breadth of Dr. Ead's knowledge and the scientific approach he uses to the various forms of analyses that he does. In this world, I don't want to get too philosophical, but I will say that there's always someone willing to read your tarot cards. I am not interested in even seeing one of those cards, let alone having them read. I'm afraid I'm very scientifically oriented. In fact, my interruption, David, from your call was to speak with one of my sons who's a PhD postdoc and explaining to people, the nuances of what's going on scientifically these days in space and even our Aurora Borealis incident very, very recently. So, sorry, I'll end this by going back to Dr. Eads. So I so appreciate the depth of the science, the depth of his intellect, his invention, which is not any of the components. He didn't invent DNA, but his invention to combine different assessments and analyses, pull them together, and have them work in harmony to help us understand ourselves better. What I have not done enough of yet is assimilated that information, because he's provided beautiful tools to me that I've not yet fully utilized. That's my answer, David.
Excellent. Thank you. And let's see, I think Dr. Aid might have got knocked off again.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you
I'm
are. Okay.
here.
Oh, so great. So
Mhm.
thank you for that, Jerry. And Dr. Aid, Michael had a question. Is it possible to have the same behavior analysis done to cultures around the world? I know it would be a generalistic, but I'd like to know, for example, how different a culture like Germany is to a culture like Brazil.
Oh, this has been studied for so many years, for over 30 years now. There's definitely ethnical and background genetic influence on behaviors, and we can see that in certain culture, definitely. But the thing is, this is the beauty of this. Genetics carry certain predispositions. They're influenced by where we come from. These influence 100% of our physical characteristics and 30 to 70% of our personality traits. But then each one of us goes through their own journey in life because we have our own experiences. A genetic predisposition does not equal behavior. And it is wrong to assume that DNA score is telling what the personality is. There are almost over 8 billion people in the world. There are 8 billion different personalities because there are 8 billion different journeys. Even if the DNA scores the exact same way, and that's really impossible. But still, the life journey and the experiences for each one of us are totally different. These, together with the decisions, make our different personalities. So I hope I've answered. Yes, there is a genetic there is a resemblance, but this doesn't mean that people will be behaving similarly.
Excellent.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions? We'll do another breakout room. I did want to just pause and show just quickly our friend Human, who's a witty member, and we support the work he's doing to support the people of Iran that are getting persecuted. Just hung up a mural in Israel to support Tumaj, who's a rapper and is received a death sentence for just his being his authentic self. So Human is in Israel now. He just a couple hours ago put this mural up in Tel Aviv. I think Tel Aviv. Do you know, Jerry, where this one was going up? Maybe Nazareth. Anyway, so he's going to come on and speak to us about this as soon as he gets back from Israel. So just a heads up on that. And this is to support women in Iran that are getting persecuted, other people like Tumaj that are talking out. So just wanted to share that, and I'll put his Instagram in the chat. Dr. Aid, I did share that we'll have, kind of some witty bundles with people do want to get the assessment and some coaching from you and that type of thing. Anything else we want to share now? Or should we do another breakout room with a different topic and just so people can connect and meet each other?
I think because of the technology situation today, maybe reach out to me. Let's have one-on-one conversations. I'll do everything in my power to support you go through this experience. David and I have been trying to bundle it in a way to become more affordable and available for all the witty members. So please reach out to me. I'll take care of this immediately and personally. Any question? Please let me know. We'll go on Zoom one-on-one. I'll make sure I have a better connection next time. and we can talk about things. So maybe we can end it here because I'm really worried about getting thrown out of this call again.
Yeah. And we'll do another breakout room for those who want to stay just to connect with each other and meet some new people from
Perfect.
different parts of the world. Dr. Aid, my fault. I take responsibility because I think I kind of didn't double check with you on the trip. So thank you for accommodating us. And I think we got most
No,
of it for sure.
it's my pleasure. I'm really enjoying these conversations. Thank you so much for showing up. Apologies for giving you an